Did anyone else think that Colehurst was finished and that he wasn't cut out for League Two? No? Anyone? Oh. It was just me that was wrong then. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 28 of One Team, One Dream, Into the Woods. My name is James, and on today's episode, we have an away trip to Plymouth in Sky Bet League 2, followed by a second round tie in the FA Cup against National League North side Boston United, where we will hopefully book a spot in the third round and hopefully a lucrative tie against the Premier League teams that join in that round of the FA Cup. Since you were last with me, we appear to have used the Swindon Town game as a little bit of a platform to push on into November. We won 4 games on the trot, including beating Exeter in the FA Cup first round that sets up today's tie. However, there was one slight blip, which was Grimsby Town, a 1-0 home defeat, a little bit disappointing there. We never really got going, and Grimsby took their only real opportunity of the game to score, and we had absolutely no answer. One thing I will say, though, is among those wins was something a little bit special. I alluded to it in the intro. During the 4-3 win against Colchester, which was far more stressful than it should have been, we had a 9.1 rating from Colehurst. The reason we had a 9-point rating was because, as you can see, he scored 3 goals. But he didn't just score 3 goals. He scored the perfect hat-trick. So here we have Daniel with the ball to Mundell, to Iqbal, to Colehurst. The first was a header. A little bit of a deflection, but a header nonetheless. Colehurst with the ball running into the penalty area with his right foot, slots it past the goalkeeper, and I believe Colchester then scored. After that, Chapman with the ball whipped into the centre. Yeah, that was an absolutely terrible goal. We'll ignore that bit. But I think this is where Colehurst completes his first half hat trick. Daniel to Crossdale to Mundell. Mundell whipped to the back post on the left foot into the far right corner, and Colehurst completes his first half hat trick. I won't put you through the rest of it, but not just a first half hat trick, a perfect hat trick of left, right, and head in a competitive League Two fixture, especially as I had him written off fairly early on in the season. And I'm not necessarily saying he's guaranteed a space in the squad now, but he's at very least put his stamp on his position for the time being, and hopefully he's going to be able to help us in today's fixtures. So the selection of wins has kept us near the top half of the table. So we are now in 4th place. We are now 3 points behind Swindon and Cambridge, even though we did beat Swindon in the last episode. But we do have a game in hand, and there is still a long way to go. The only other piece of news was we didn't manage to get that, I think it was he Croatian? The goalkeeper I mentioned last episode, we didn't manage to bring him in. Unfortunately, his work permit was denied. So we could have brought him in, but he wouldn't have been able to play in the squad. And so it seemed like a bit of a waste of wage budget. So we cancelled that transfer, and we're still actively looking for a backup goalkeeper. And talking of backup players, we have a little bit of a problem with another one. Daniel is cooking up a little bit of a fuss at the moment. He has complained in the press publicly that he is upset that he doesn't feel he's getting the playing time that we initially agreed. Now, based on his agreed playing time, regular starter, he is only getting a squad player levels of playing time, so that is probably justified. However, when we have someone like Shea Charles ahead of him, it's kind of difficult to justify Daniel being on the field when we're actively weakening the side by having him on there. So I've been playing him a little bit more. Shea Charles was actually away on international duty for the last couple of games, so Daniel did manage to get a couple of games in. But I am coming to the conclusion that we're probably going to have to push Daniel on, maybe even in January, as I don't want somebody causing upset among the squad, especially when we are pushing so highly up the table. So I'm also actively looking for a replacement backup fullback. With that in mind, let's get into the first match of today's episode as we head to Plymouth in the league. And since the last episode, I've also done a little bit of tweaking with the tactic. We're still playing a direct counter-attack 4-3-3. We have switched, though, the fullbacks now to wing-backs. Having said that, they could have always been wing-backs. I'm almost certain I changed it, but I may not have done. But we have fiddled around with both the midfield and the attack a little bit. We now have an advanced playmaker, ball-winning midfielder, and a Mazzala, slightly different combination to what we had in the previous episode. And then we have a pressing forward, advanced forward, and poacher up front. All of which seems to be working slightly better than the combination we had previously. And it means that the team facing Plymouth today is Huddard in goal, a back four of Devine, Bennett, Tricker and Charles, Iqbal, McDonnell and Mundell in central midfield. Colehurst, Fagan and Taylor Crossdale are the front three. This is about as close as we get to a full strength side. So I'd like to think that with this side we're going to be able to beat Plymouth, especially with some of the calibre of teams we've beaten over the last couple of games. Grimsby Town obviously excluded from that. I think we pump the fists. Come on, lads, show me what you can do. Let's go out there. Let's get another away win. One thing that did come up in the press is that the couple of losses we have had and some of the poor form we have had in little bits of the season so far have all been at home. Whether the fact that we're maybe not necessarily getting the attendances of some of the other League Two sides is making a difference, but that is obviously not going to help the attendances if the players are not necessarily putting in the same effort at home as they do seem to be in the away matches where they're obviously feeling less pressure. But the ball whipped into the centre by Devine, our first opportunity of the game. Nobody was in there, but ball comes to Charles back in the centre trying to find Crossdale. Ball is cleared again by Plymouth, and Plymouth could counter attack here with Pollock. Puts it through to Grice. Grice is free in the penalty area. He is clean through. He puts it past Huddard for his 5th goal of the season. And we had 2 opportunities in the first 15 minutes there to try and score a goal. No one managed to get on the end of it. Plymouth have had an opportunity, counter-attacking, very, very well played on the counter-attack, which is what we should be doing, really. Slotted it past Huddard, who disappointingly didn't seem to make much of an effort to try and get down to the ball. And we are now 1-0 down. But straight away, we have a highlight from the kickoff. Bennett with the ball forward to Fagan. Now to McDonnell. Out wide to Charles on the overlap. Can he go past his man? Instead, he comes inside to Mundell. To Taylor Crossdale. Crossdale doing poorly, but luckily the loose ball comes to Charles anyway. McDonnell whips it brilliant across to Colehurst. Colehurst in the penalty area, takes a shot. Oh, Colehurst is offside. I thought he was going to add to what has been quite the selection of goals in recent games. I mean, that is pretty close. I mean, that's a little bit tough to stomach, that one, especially as we're 1-0 down. But nonetheless, we should push on forward. But Plymouth have a free kick here on the outside of the penalty area. We have a habit of conceding from free kicks. The ball was whipped in, and there we go. There's another one. Only McLeod, I presume that's his name, McLeod. It's only his 2nd goal of the season from a free kick. We've only got a 2-man wall. Huddard really should have been able to get to that. That is disappointing for Huddard. That is 2 times now that Huddard really should have done better with them. I'd actually really expect him to have a worse rating than he does right now. I've seen this type of game multiple times already in FM21, where we concede a goal which is disappointing, but then we concede from a set piece, and that tends to be it. 2-0 down, and we're done even before half time. Especially as I was saying at the start of the game, how we have been playing well away from home, and we just seem gutless in this game so far. I'm going to thrash my arms. Far from pleased from what I've seen from this team. Do I look to make any changes this? I mean, Crossdale's having an awful game, but so are all 3 strikers. I mean, we have got a couple of tired legs as well. I think we're going to make an early change, take Iqbal off. We're going to bring Adebayi on, put him in there as a Carolero on support. Hopefully, as the role states, we'll be able to provide a little bit more support to the strikers and a little bit more of a link between the defence and the attackers. And more importantly, though, provide a pair of fresh legs in central midfield, which we seem to be lacking so far in this game. Almost 60 minutes. I've just seen it flash up that Fagan is now struggling as well, hampered by injury. So we're going to bring on a McKinnon. We'll have to have a little bit of a shuffle round, I think. We'll put McKinnon out wide. We'll put Taylor Crossdale on his preferred poacher role. We'll drop McKinnon back to a deep lying forward. Looking at tactic, creates a nice little V there, which I really like, almost spearheading the formation. Crossdale is also on a 6.2. I mean, we're going to have to see how this, because we don't have another striker to bring on. So maybe we have to drop something back into the hole and bring on maybe Alfie Lewis as an attacking midfielder. Looking at the average ratings in general and looking at Plymouth's shots and things like that, we are being absolutely dominated in this game, and quite rightly we're behind 2-0. But Crossdale is through here. He managed to get the pace to get past the defender, comes into the penalty area. I mean, that says everything, I think. I think Crossdale is coming off. That's his last action, I think. We'll drop Crossdale back. We need to push one of these guys forward. All right, let's push McKinnon forward as an advance forward. Let's take Crossdale off. Let's bring on Alfie Lewis. Play him as a shadow striker just in behind these guys. So we're still, in theory, playing with a slightly deeper, but still playing with the front three. And hope that Alfie can come on and make the difference here. I think we're going to do yet another tactical shout. Let's demand more from the players. Let's go attacking as well. We might as well at this point. There's no point worrying about conceding any more goals, because it's not going to make any difference if we can't get one ourselves. But with 10 minutes to go, we've had absolutely no highlights. We do have a highlight now, though, on 83 minutes. Plymouth with a throw-in. Bring it forward quite easily, if I'm honest. In the middle to Kamongo? I presume that is Kamangongo? My pronunciations of names are absolutely terrible if you haven't discovered this already. Chipped in the centre. Bennett manages to clear it, though, to Colhurst, who turns his man, who's now in a little bit of space. Colhurst to try and maybe drag a goal back. Oh, and he can't beat the goalkeeper. He does manage to bring it in there for a second opportunity back into the centre. Plymouth managed to clear it. That was the opportunity we had. If we managed to get a goal back there, it would make the last few minutes a little bit more interesting. But I think coming into the last few minutes, we do have a highlight here in injury time, but Plymouth have the ball whipped into the centre. George there with the header, but Huddard manages to match it. Let's encourage the players in the last couple of minutes. The ball is hoofed forward to Lewis. Lewis in a shallow striker role takes a shot, goes for the top corner. Fryer with a brilliant save there to deny us a goal. Whether it make much difference at this point, I'm not sure, but McDonnell has the corner here, whipped into the centre. Ford is by himself there, no one around him at all, no one looking to try and get the ball there. Grice now has the ball for Plymouth, and Plymouth are just looking to run out the clock, and I think that is pretty much it now. Time has expired. It is full time, and that is not a great start to the episode. I'd maybe understand it a little bit more if it was a team that was around us, but Plymouth are in 10th place. I'm not sure how they've done leading up to this game. Maybe we've caught them on a little bit of form, and that's why they've managed to beat us today. But if I'm honest, the average ratings say everything. McKinnon has had a 7.1, and we've conceded 2 goals. And we've not been short of shots on target. How did the Plymouth... So both goalkeepers have done really well in this game, because we had the same amount of shots on target as they did. They were just more clinical. Yes, they've had twice as many... almost twice as many shots overall, but 20 fouls as well. That probably doesn't help. I am, though, going to point the finger. Not happy with the performance out there. Players are motivated. It does drop us down to 5th place, still on 35 points. We're still only 3 points. That presumably means that both Cambridge and Swindon either didn't play. That was our game in hand, that's why. So that is disappointing that we didn't manage to take advantage of our game in hand. But we still are only 3 points behind Swindon or Cambridge. So nothing gained, but also no damage done at the same time. Well, hopefully that game hasn't done too much damage to the morale, and we can now go into the Boston United FA Cup second round game and get the result that we should get against a National League North side. It is game day for the FA Cup second round as we go away to Boston United from the National League North, a team we should definitely be beating. So we will definitely be going attacking from the start. And we've had to make a couple of changes due to a little bit of tiredness after the Plymouth game, which hopefully won't affect us too much. So we have Huddard in goal, a back four of Powell, Tizard, Tricker and Daniel, Adebayi, McDonnell and Mundell in central midfield. Colhurst, McKinnon and Crossdale up front. We do have all the players that have dropped out of the starting 11 on the bench to bring on if we desperately need to. But as a couple of them are struggling for fitness, I'd rather not push them too hard against a side that really and truly even our second string players should be beating. I'm going to pump my fists and say, let's show the world what this team is all about, shall we? I think that's a little bit optimistic based on the fact I doubt the world is watching this game, but we'll see nonetheless. We do have a tunnel interview though, so I'll get this done and then into the match. And we are in fact on TV for this game, so maybe a little bit of the world might be watching. So for this, we have the little posh TV intro showing our 4-3-3 there. And straight away, well, I say straight away, but on 7 minutes, we have a highlight. Boston with the throw-in out wide with Harris to Sol. Harris has a second opportunity. Hopper from the edge of the penalty area. Great save by Huddard. Didn't seem to have much power on it. I'm not sure if it took a deflection, but the ball goes out wide. And luckily, the highlight ends there. Boston have the first big opportunity in this game. On 35 minutes, it's our turn for a highlight with Daniel with the throw-in to Taylor Crossdale. Brilliant cross to Colehurst, who hits. I'm not sure if that was the goalkeeper or the crossbar. We hit something. The ball was then cleared by Boston. So both teams now have had a key chance in that first half. Neither has been taken, and coming into half-time, it is 0-0. And a lot closer than it really should be, based on the fact there are 2 leagues separating these sides. I'm going to point the finger. Not happy with the performance out there. The assistant manager says to go out and grab that 1 goal for us. Based on the way this game is going, I don't think 1 goal is going to be enough. But Daniel with a throw-in to Crossdale. Manages to header it to himself. Brilliant 1-2 with himself. Crossdale to the back post to Colehurst, who was going the other way. Manages to wrong foot the goalkeeper, but hits the post. And another opportunity goes begging there. Boston have a free kick whipped into the centre. Tricker manages to clear it, but not very far. Harris to Stevens, takes a shot from range. And there is the gut punch there on 50 minutes. You can't say that Boston haven't deserved it. Based on the stats so far in this game, we are very, very similar. Almost even on possession. And Boston have the goal that they deserve, really, based on the way they've played so far in this game. And we have not turned up to the races yet again. I'm going to encourage the players this time. Boston have another opportunity. It is a throw in here. Warren whips it into the back post. We managed to clear it, though, this time, but only as far as another Boston player whips in. Huddard manages to collect it this time to try and calm things down. Big boot forward to Colehurst. McKinnon is now through into the penalty area. He's got a couple of defenders and a very weak shot from McKinnon. Another poor showing in this game from our strikers. McDonnell is tired as well. I mean, the players say they're motivated, but they're not showing it. I'm going to have to bring Fagan on. I think we're going to have to take a few risks now in this game. Daniel is having... This is the reason why he's not getting game time. I mean, Tizard. Do you know what? Daniel can stay on for a bit because Tizard's coming off. I'm going to bring on Reece Bennett at the back to try and steady the ship. Can I make another shout already? I've already done it. I've already done it, so I have to wait for that to come up again. But 70 minutes gone, and we have had very little to say in this second half. Demand more. Go very attacking. I don't know if it's even going to make much of a difference at this point with 10 minutes to go. We've got 6.3s. We've got 6.7, 6.6s. Oh, God, this is an awful game. Right, I'll bring on Shea Charles. It's the only thing I can think of to do. Maybe push players forward. Bring McDonnell forward as well. Push the wing backs forward just out of desperation to try and get something in this game. I don't mind a tactic being inconsistent, but at least give me some wins on an episode. I know we had 1 in the last episode, but this is now going to be 3 games out of 4 that you've seen where we've just not turned up, and we are out of the FA Cup. That is ridiculous. I made a joke in the last episode that we wouldn't see the 3rd round. I didn't actually mean it. Is that my fault? Did I make too many changes in that game? I mean, the strikers are... all you can say is the strikers must be... I mean, we had 4 shots on target out of 10. So maybe the strikers are to blame. Maybe there's not putting the opportunities away. Colehurst on a 6.5. That's 2 games in a row now he has played poorly after I complimented him at the beginning of the episode. Sort of. I'm throwing the water bottle again. I don't care. They're all demotivated. They deserve it. And I'm going to be having some individual team talks with some of these players. We've had a couple of poor performances this season, but that is the first time where I'm actually concerned there might be a problem. And 2 games back to back, we've had these exactly the same headlines of Taylor Crossdale and McKinnon both vowed to end goal drought. Maybe not having the 3 strikers on the field is as good idea as I thought. Maybe we do drop back to the 4-3-1-2 and have somebody in the hole behind the strikers, hopefully creating more opportunities, and have 2 select strikers up front rather than just pushing everyone up there and hoping that they'll score. Bennett has fitness concerns. What's the problem with Daniel? I mean, this guy... do not expect to see this guy on an episode again. Bad time. bad time to be picking, to be coming at me like that. I'm not going to the press conference. The assistant man... Actually, do you know what? I am going to go to the press conference because I've got words to be said. Who are you? You are the Woking boss. If you're looking at Daniel, we have found a new club for Daniel. He is going to be going to Woking as soon as physically possible. Well, I was hoping we were going to end that with a third round draw, but instead we have looked lackluster and we have looked gutless on this episode. Both should have been winnable games, and we didn't turn up in either. Right, where are we going to come back? I think I'm going to jump through December. There's not really any games that stand out to me in December. Unless something major happens, I think we'll probably go through until the transfer window, where hopefully we will see Daniel leave the club. Honestly, I'm not naturally petty. I think we'll come back for Southend, who are in 7th, and Morecambe, who are bottom of the table. Hopefully for at least one win on that episode. But to be fair, I said that against the Boston United game, so I don't think anything could be expected at this point. Well, I can understand if you didn't, but if you enjoyed that, please give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of brand new FM21 videos from me as they come out. And thank you very much for watching.